Oh my gosh, this is really good. But I get chocolate all over my teeth.
It's the Great Taylor C. Baker Show.
Hello, and welcome back to the Great Taylor C. Baker Show. My name is Taylor C. Baker, or in this case, Taylor C. Prince-rin-tin-tort-a Baker. That's right, it's German week, y'all, and we are making prince-rin-tin-tort-a. Rin-tin-tort-a. Rat-a-tat-torta. While it may sound like a groovy jazz song, it's actually a German cake with 8 layers to symbolize the 8 administrative districts of the time. History and cake. We've made some crazy cakes on this adventure so far. We've made princess cake, which if you've watched, we all know is a disaster. We have made shish torta, which is a special German cake where it's 20 layers and you bake each layer on top of each other in the same tin. Well, prince-rin-tin-tort-a is a cake where you make 8 separate, tiny thin, crepe-like genoise layers, and then we stack them up after. So let's learn how to make it. So the first thing we're gonna do is make our genoise sponge. Separate our 10 eggs into the egg whites and then egg yolks. Whisk the egg whites from our 10 eggs with our 1/4 teaspoon of salt until it is firm but not dry. Gradually gonna mix in half of our 3/4 of a cup of sugar until you have a firm meringue. We're gonna move that meringue on over into a clean bowl and set aside. Now in our same mixer bowl, and groovy tunes here, we don't have to wash it. We're gonna whisk up our egg yolks and the other half of our 3/4 of a cup of sugar until it is pale, thick, and loose-like. We are then going to combine our egg families. Gently, gently, gently fold our egg whites into our egg yolk mixer. Add in our 7/8 cups of plain flour with our 1 teaspoon of baking soda and gently fold everything together. Lastly, we are going to pour in our 4.5 tablespoons of butter and fold it all together. This recipe involves one of my favorite baking utensils, a spring foam tin. I have traced the shape of my tin on the bottom, so I'm gonna portion out my batter into 8 separate layers on each of my papers, and I'm gonna use my little handy dandy palette knife to spread it out sort of like a crepe so that it'll be nice and thin and even all the way across. Oh my, I am anything but a precision baker. This recipe for the sponge said to sift in the flour, and I was like, nah. Well, as you'll see when I bring it a little closer, my mixture is a little chunky. I advise you listen to the instructions and actually sift in your flour. So I have all 8 of my sponges. You can see it as I get over here, they get chunkier and chunkier because I was closer to the bottom of my mix. But you know, that'll be a nice chunky surprise for whoever gets that. Yum. And now we're gonna bake them at 375 for 6 to 8 minutes and then switch them out. Bake well, little sponges. Round 2 is through. Hello, golden babies. These were my first 2, looking pretty good. While my 3rd batch is in the oven, we're gonna start making the chocolate ganache for the filling of our layers. Pour 2 of our 2.5 cups of milk into a pan and bring it to a boil just before it gets totally rapidly boiling. While we're boiling our milk, in a large bowl, we're gonna whisk together our 3 egg yolks, 3/4 of a cup of corn flour, 1/2 a cup of cocoa powder, with our last little bit, about 1/2 a cup of milk together. We're then gonna whisk together our hot milk into our egg mixture and then pour the mixture back into the pan, whisking it over a gentle heat until the mixture thickens, which should take about 3 to 5 minutes. This is now gonna have a custardy texture. And I'm gonna pour our custard into a shallow dish, cover with cling film, and leave to cool. Melt 5 ounces of dark chocolate into a heat-proof bowl, set over a pot of barely simmering water, stirring until smooth, removing the chocolate from heat to allow to cool. Then, in a large mixing bowl, we're gonna beat 1.5 cups of butter and 1 cup of powdered sugar together until pale and fluffy. Slowly whisk in our cooled custard until thoroughly combined. Finally, we're gonna add the cooled and melted chocolate and whisk to combine. That's a lot of stuff. Everything is made, cooled, and ready to assemble. Cakes, assemble! We are going to spoon out about 1/4 of our ganache because we're going to need this for a crumb coat later, as well as some decoration on the top. I've done this before in recipes, forgot to save this. Thinking my princess cake didn't have any decorating chocolate, but that's okay. Now I do. I went ahead and cut out one of my circles of parchment paper to line the bottom. There's no more baking at this point, it's just assembling and cooling. We are going to do layer of cake on the bottom, ganache in the middle, cake, ganache, cake, ganache, cake, ganache, until we get to the top and it's cake. So no ganache on the top because we're gonna have a different chocolate glaze that goes over everything. Now that our stunning cake is in the fridge to cool for 30 minutes, we have time to make our crown decorations. This template is available in the recipe, which is linked below. I've already melted 5 ounces of dark chocolate. Once it gets down to 32 degrees Celsius, I'm gonna put it in a piping bag with a very thin nozzle, which I don't have, so I'm improvising using a plastic bag with a little snip stick in the corner. And we're gonna draw out our crowns, leave them to set until they harden, and then we can paint our gold luster glitter on top of them so they look regal. Just like this. Well, I made something adjacent to a crown. It may be more of a blob, but heavy is the head that wears the blob. Our cake has been in the fridge for 30 minutes and we're going to do a crumb coat. So we're gonna take some of our remaining ganache and we'll put it on the edges so they're not all wavy and crinkly from all of the different layers. And now we need to make our chocolate ganache to cover everything. We are gonna put 7 ounces of dark chocolate in a heat-proof bowl, and then we're gonna heat up 1 1/4 cups of heavy whipping cream. And then we're gonna pour our heated heavy whipping cream onto our chocolate, leave it to sit for 3 minutes, and then stir it up, and then we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Well, this floor is gonna be a little messy. Once our ganache is cooled down to 32 degrees Celsius, we're just gonna pour it on here and coat the cake and kind of evenly get it on the sides as much as we can. Our ganache is ganached with panache. As part of the decoration, put your lines where they would be cut. Pipe 12 rosettes with our chocolate ganache. And finally, put our little gold crowns on top. Okay, I will take that. I will take it to the bank and back again. I wanna go ahead and cut into it, give it a try, and see if those 8 layers are there. Look at those layers. The only thing I could see Paul Hollywood being a little sassy about is there's a bit of a dome. It's supposed to be a very flat edge, but I'll take that dome. I will take that dome. It's more regal that way anyway. Let's give this very, very chocolatey mess a try. Yum! 4 hours well spent. Thank you so much for watching The Great Taylor C. Baker Show. Be sure to hit subscribe and tune in every Thursday when I post new videos. And I invite you to bake along with me. If you bake anything from my show, any of the recipes from Great British Bake Off, please tag me at Taylor C. Baker on all the social medias and use the hashtag #BakeWithBaker. Bake with Baker. So I can see all the magic you're cooking up in the kitchen. Cheers.
It's the Great Taylor C. Baker Show.